It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. Welcome, everybody, to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. I am your host, Rusty Diamond, and you can check out other great shows on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, such as When the Gloves Come Off, the Thinking Man's Pro Wrestling Podcast, This Is It with Lizzie, and Saved by the Ben. And the show's brought to you by Fred Ben Savage's Fuck, SockEmUp.org, Hardcore Entertainment, Stoner East Productions, and Hypnosis is Great. And so today, this is my second one, and then I'm going on a couple-day break. So I hope you guys can catch up, and thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, share away. Say, hey, check this out. This is going to be a fun one. So I'm going to bring on my special guest right now. We have Tom Paladino. Right here, right now, we do. I'm telling you, we do. He's here. And there's Tom Paladino. How you doing?
Okay.
Thanks, Russ. You're very welcome. So I believe you may be the first guest I've had in a lab. So I don't know if I've seen that before. So what is going on behind you right now? I just in whatever way you want to explain it.
Okay. I'm a scalar energy researcher. I'm working with a different type of energy than that of electricity. Behind me are scalar energy instruments. These instruments, energy, produces work. Energy can be called upon to produce work or to in some way work with nature, control nature. So these instruments behind me, scalar energy instruments, allow me to control nature. Now, before I get into that, I want to establish the ground rules here. What I'm demonstrating are custom-built scalar energy instruments. This has nothing to do with electromagnetic energy. So this is not electricity or magnetism. I'll show you in particular how these instruments function. Behind me, you can see 2 Tesla coils. The instrument is on right now. It's broadcasting a great deal of energy, scalar energy. I'm going to hold up a tube, a fluorescent light bulb, next to the instrument. You'll see this fluorescent tube illuminate under the power of scalar energy, which is broadcasting from those Tesla coils.
Your hearing or your audio is kind of going in and out right now.
Is that any better? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, let me repeat that. I'm going to hold up fluorescent tubes. These tubes are in the factory packaging. And when I place these tubes close to the instrument, they illuminate. So there's so much energy from this instrument, it illuminates tubes like this.
Oh.
So that's a tremendous amount of scalar energy that's broadcast from those Tesla coils. It fills the room.
So can you, I mean, what is that? I mean, I feel like, I don't know enough about this. I don't know if this is like one of those things like when you're at the dentist and they go and give you an x-ray and then they run behind a wall. This is nothing like that.
No, it's not an x-ray machine. So this energy behaves differently than that of an x-ray. Now, when I work with people, Rusty, I work with people with these instruments by way of a photograph. This is my photograph. It carries scalar energy. It carries a scalar energy signal on it. If I were to place my photograph inside this instrument, my photograph would receive energy from that instrument, just like the light bulb has. Okay? So that's an informational process. I placed my instrument, my photograph inside the instrument. It's receiving that same amount of energy. Again, let me demonstrate how much energy. I'm holding in my hand fluorescent tubes. And if I place these fluorescent tubes next to my photograph, you'll see the fluorescent tubes illuminate. So that's a tremendous amount of energy going into the tubes or going into my photograph. So this is known as scalar energy. This is the new science of scalar energy, in which we can broadcast light into objects, whether it's a fluorescent tube or a photograph of a person. Now, this instrument can also be used to carry a signal. I'm holding in my hand a photograph of the Epstein-Barr virus. If I place this photograph of the Epstein-Barr virus in the instrument will look at the character, the information on the photograph. It has a signal, and Epstein-Barr as a signal, as information, will be broadcast into me. So now the Epstein-Barr virus signature is being broadcast into me. And that signal will find the Epstein-Barr virus in me and shatter it, break it apart.
So what does that do with the picture? What does that do? So is it because it knows, it like recognizes you as that picture?
Yes.
And it's the same as the virus. So if it's like,
yes, it's a sharing of information. So the energy of the Epstein-Barr virus would look for Epstein-Barr in my quantum field, in my energy field. And if there was Epstein-Barr inside of my quantum field, it would break it apart, disassemble, fragment the Epstein-Barr virus. So we're working with an energy system that can look at signals or signatures on photographs.
so I mean, like, so this would, I mean, this seems interesting. Like, I mean, this seems like it's something, if you were, I don't know, I mean, like, is it, how available is this to the public right now? Because this seems like something that could disrupt the medical field quite a bit.
I'm trying to make it available to the general public. This is why anybody in the world can register. We'll provide them free sessions on our website. Anybody can sign up for our website, and there are 15 days of free sessions. So this is groundbreaking technology. I want to get this information out there. This is why I perform podcast interviews to demonstrate people these functioning scalar energy instruments.
So could this be, I mean, this could be literally any, sort of disease or anything, as long as you have a picture of it, what that looks like.
Correct. Now, I've perfected a technique with pathogens, germs. For instance, here's a photograph of herpes. If I were to place this photograph of herpes, just a photograph that has a signature next to my photograph, the two energy fields share information. So now energy for the herpes virus is being shared in my force field. It's all quantum, it's not a biological action. And the energy for herpes looks for the herpes virus in my body. And if I had herpes, this energy would break apart the herpes virus. All of our work is done by way of light or photographs, which are pieces of paper that carry light. So it's a light process. It's not a biological process.
I think I remember them saying something about there was a light box therapy that they used to do that was very beneficial to the success, but then something happened and that got shut down. Is that sort of that same idea?
Yeah, my predecessor was a man by the name of Hieronymus, and although his work was well received, it was never really embraced. It was never, he didn't have the internet, quite frankly. This is over 50, 60 years ago. Today, things are different. We have the
So,
internet.
so this is like, this is near the same thing that what he
Yes.
was using. Okay. So, I mean, I guess where did you, I mean, did you see something in his and you thought, how can I replicate this and
Yeah.
how can I modernize it?
I actually met that family. It's called the Hieronymus family, and I was able back in the 90s to work with their instruments, and I actually could purchase a few of their instruments. And therefrom, I developed my own theories, and I've increased the power outage. The gain on these instruments is much stronger. So it's a more powerful signal than what I was working with back in the 90s.
So could this be put into homes, or would this have to be through like a clinical type of setting?
You know, I want to educate people around the world as to how this works. That's step number one. And then step number two, I think, would be to find a central location to educate people, to bring people together, more or less of a community, a classroom setting, if you will. But that hasn't developed yet. So I'm trying to interest a sufficient number of people to get the message out there.
And so is there another side to this, that the powerful side that can, because so like with hypnosis, there's MK Ultra and stuff of that nature, but then that tells you how strong hypnosis is. Is there something like that with this?
Yeah, well, again, if I can illuminate a light bulb, the benefit is free energy to mankind. That's the benefit. The downside is, would anybody ever use this energy to harm? So for that reason, I'm not going to sell the instruments. Energy is powerful. These instruments are very powerful.
Yeah, you're lighting up and so, and then would it be, is it a constant, or is it like can it be targeted to a one specific place, or is it just sort of broadcast out?
Yeah, good point. As long as I have a photograph, that's where I can target this energy. Here's a collage. I could target this energy. I could deliver this energy to their quantum field. Again, it's not a biological process, it's a light process. I could deliver this energy to these 36 people instantaneously and simultaneously.
And how close do they have to be?
Close to the Tesla coil, just within a few feet of the Tesla coil. As long as you're close to the Tesla coil, you're receiving this energy. It's a tremendous amount of energy. So if you will, Rusty, I could place in that instrument 1 million miniaturized photographs. I could work with 1 million people in their quantum field at one time.
And so you said you can increase the power in this.
Yeah.
So could that mean it could be further out than a few feet of it? So if you theoretically did have 1 million people, you wanted to, let's say there's 1 million people that have herpes, the big herpes gathering of 2024, and they come around here, and with 1 million people, would you be able to have enough output to do it all at once?
Oh yeah. You could place 1 million photographs in that instrument right now. And through the quantum field, I could work with 1 million people simultaneously.
And so then are the results instantaneous?
Yes. So in an instant, we can not only identify the herpes virus, but eradicate it, fragment it.
And so you said it works best with viruses, was that right?
Yeah, I have a great success with viruses or anything that I could photograph that's a microbe. For instance, this is Staphylococcus aureus. This is a bacterium. If I place this photograph inside the instrument will likewise look at the molecular code, look at the informational code, and then download that code into me looking for that bacterium.
So, I mean, something like I don't know, whatever the flu. I mean, so the flu or whatever you want to call that.
That's right. That's right.
Would that be something that could? I mean, there's
all types of avian flu, influenza A, B, C. Yes, yes. Here's another indication of what we've done over the years. I'm going to hold up. This is a clinic. This is a clinic in Delhi, India. It's known as Om Prakash. I've worked with 5,000 people at this HIV clinics in Delhi, India. After I work with them, after I place their photograph inside the instrument, these people tell me that they feel better. And after working with 5,000 people, some of those people have gone back and they've had a subsequent PCR test. And the PCR test is not detected, no viral load.
whoa, and instantaneously.
Because this energy can, if you will, understand the genetic composition, the genetic bonds, hydrogen bonds of a virus, and then just break down those hydrogen bonds. We reduce a microbe to chaos. This instrument can reduce any microbe, any germ to chaos. So if you reduce a germ, a microbe to chaos, it doesn't exist anymore. It ceases to exist.
And so, I mean, so could this also work with, is it only,
The reason I use photographs, Rusty,
yeah,
there's no human reasoning. Now, what am I getting at? This is a science in its infancy. I don't know how to program these instruments. I don't know how to program the intelligence. I frankly think the intelligence is from God. So I don't want to put the wrong information into the instrument. So I rely upon photographs of microbes. That's the intelligence. There's no human reasoning. When I do that, it always works. The photograph of herpes has a certain signature information. I don't understand that energetically, but the light does. I let the light interpret the herpes virus and then send the necessary impulse information to break down the molecular bonds.
so
it's
what-
all light driven. There's no human input. There's no human reason.
what about something like a hernia?
I can't do it. Nothing structural.
Nothing structural.
I've perfected my work with microbes, and here's another technique. I'm also able to work with nutrients. I'm going to hold up a magnified photograph of riboflavin. If I were to place this inside the instrument would recreate riboflavin in my quantum field. Now, that's not a chemical process, it's an informational process. So now riboflavin is being instructed in the instrument. And then I instruct it to go into my quantum field, not the chemical, the information of riboflavin.
So what is the difference between the information of it and the chemical of it?
You're right. The chemical is the end of the line. The chemical is the physical manifestation. The information instructs the body, instructs the chemical. So my work is non-physical information. What happens therefrom is to be construed a biochemical reaction, but I can't prove that yet. Nobody's been able to prove or disprove my work. Keep in mind, these are custom built instruments. No one has these instruments. No one has my experience.
And it's been 30 years. Are you, so is this something that you would have a protege of some sort, or is this something that you would be taking to the grave?
No, I want to teach this. That's why I'm giving this interview today. I want people to understand this. But it's really it's an arcane science. It's an esoteric. And it does get to be complex when you're using instruments like this. And the long and short of it is, how many people want to dedicate themselves to this pursuit of knowledge? Who wants to make this a career?
Yeah, I mean, that's
It's work. It's taking me a lifetime.
Yeah.
This is taking me a lifetime.
And so, I mean, were other people, how were they reacting when you said that, let's say 30 years ago, when you said you were going to get into this, what were people saying around you?
Most people were curious. Nobody really dissuaded me.
Cool.
Most of my family and friends they thought it was interesting. I think today, in retrospect, many of them see the gigantic benefits that free energy will have for mankind. I'm working in the footsteps of Nikola Tesla. Tesla developed scalar energy instruments. These are free instruments, free energy instruments. Now, I want to make this clear. When I'm working with these instruments, I don't need satellites or a substation or wires. I can deliver energy anywhere in the universe through a person's photograph. My predecessor was treating the Apollo 11 astronauts while they were orbiting the moon. So this is free energy with a free infrastructure.
And yeah, I mean, the free is a very good price. There was an old TV spokesman back in Portland, Oregon, who used to say that. Well, I mean, this is pretty amazing. I'm just kind of blown away. And then so the coils, I mean, so that's only part of what that's only a small part of it.
There's the other part of the instruments. I have many instruments in this laboratory.
So when was the last time you paid for power?
See, I do pay for power. I still use electricity. This instrument is only designed to work at the quantum health level. And that's a good point. In the future, I want to be able to develop instruments that will produce free power for homes, for cars, for factories. So that day is coming. I haven't perfected that yet.
So yeah, okay. So I mean, so it's just you wherever you are in your lab, and this is just you. And I mean, so do you have your work, is it in a lot of different places right now? Do you have like your records in more than one place?
I do, but I don't worry about that. God protects me. But that's a good
Cool.
point. I have more than one location.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. And
now I've been working with people around the world, and when people work with me, many times they'll submit to me an afterthought or a testimony, or they'll provide a PCR test. For instance, this is a PCR test for herpes. After years of being positive with the herpes virus, this individual submitted their photograph to us, and we treated them through their photograph. Now, here are the two test results back to back. There's no more viral load for herpes.
wait a minute. Hold on 1 second here. So you're saying that these people are somewhere totally different in the world, and all you have is their photograph, and it's
Correct.
going.
Right. I've
Whoa.
never worked with a person in person. These instruments only work with the photographic dimension. It's a different dimension. It's the scalar dimension. There's no in-person sessions.
So this is like what are they like? There's some energy healers, people who say they're energy healers, and it's where they can do it with just a picture, and you're doing it.
Yes. Yes. Energy is king. Energy is king. When I'm working with these instruments, they have a command over nature. They provide dominion over nature. So these instruments allow me to control a vitamin and create a vitamin, or they allow me to break down the herpes virus. I have dominion over the herpes virus. Or what other people have told me, that this energy is so strong, it has a great influence on the brainwaves, which stands to reason if I can illuminate a light bulb, then I should be able to illuminate the mind.
So what could that do? I mean, could that be regenerating brain tissue?
It might be. Many people, I have to judge by the testimonies, many people say that they're calmer, or that this can help them overcome drugs, recreational drugs and alcohol. Many people have said that. So our website has approximately 4,000 testimonies, and that's what we have to build upon. You know, it's a new science. We have to prove this science, and the only way we can prove it right now are by subjective testimonies, by what people have mentioned.
How long is it before it becomes accepted as more definitive? Because nothing in science is really ever definitive.
Yeah, you're right. Very good. Well stated. It really, it's an educational curve. All from here on out, it's all about speaking to people about my work and getting people to accept it. It has to be a grassroots effort. It has to be grassroots.
So have you had anyone trying to want to discredit this at all?
No, not in an intelligent fashion, because they don't understand what they're trying to discredit. How could you discredit something you're ignorant of?
Very good question.
No, it's just like, have you studied scalar energy? Do you know how these instruments operate?
Not in the slightest. I know what I've learned in 30 minutes.
I am speaking in third person. So those who try to discredit me, I just say, well, why don't you show me your evidence? Show me your scalar energy instrument. You know, by the way, nobody has ever showed me, demonstrated their scalar energy instrument.
Do you know of anybody who is looking into this other than you?
That's why it's so sad. Not publicly. It's not been drawn to my attention. Not publicly.
Wow.
Let me be very clear and to the point, being rather blunt. This is free energy. The powers that be don't want this. This
Right.
will change. This will change the world economy. This will change the world economy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, free energy, free healing. And that's two of the biggest, money-making things across the globe.
And we pursue that course of trying to help people doing God's will. The word is getting out, one podcast at a time. Thank you, Rusty.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
what
you.
it takes. It takes a grassroots effort. I want your audience to go to the website and register for 15 days. You're going to send us your photograph, email us your photograph, and for 15 days we'll treat you for free. Everybody in the world is entitled to free sessions. and which will look for and eradicate microbes, germs, will balance your chakras, and will create micronutrients. All of it is done by way of your photograph, just a facial shot. Your photograph, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, there's no reason not to do this
Yeah,
at all.
simple.
All you need is the testimony then from us.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want, you can send us an anonymous testimony.
I'm doing it here, and as soon as we're done here. Yeah, I'm curious. This is just, it's a lot to take in right now. So I might not be the only one who has a lot to take in, but I'm very, very much hope that this is gonna, that it's gonna be something that's gonna be able to get out with this grassroots effort, and a lot of people are gonna get to hear about it and get to experience it in one way or another.
That's the key. The website, scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Visit the website, read about what we're doing. It's all groundbreaking. And then send us your photograph. There's no obligation. It's free. And we'll prove to you that your health will improve. You will prove to yourself the validity of my statements. You will prove that to yourself.
Excellent. Okay, yeah, I'm all for it. Tom, thank you so much. It was great getting to. I didn't know what we were going towards, and it's just been blowing my mind. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate and enjoyed getting to talk with you, and I'm getting the word out here for you as much as I can.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. All right, that's Tom Paladino with the Scalar Light. Yeah, so you heard it. You can watch it. Check out the video here afterwards. You see me, if you can see me in parts, I just like, holy shit, what's going on? I'm ready to give this a shot. So you guys check this out. I'll put everything down in the description. Thank you again for listening, watching, whatever you're doing here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network. Getting the quantum field of getting better. See? You see? Check out the other good shows on the QGBN, such as When the Gloves Come Off, the Thinking Man's Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is It with Lizzie and Saved by the Ben. And the show is brought to you by suck'emup.org, Hardcore and Comedy, Hypnosis is Great, Stoner Eats Productions, and Fred Ben Savage's Fuck. And that is the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Ernest! Ernest! Ernest!
Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?